But the reason we are here is it's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for our first mock draft of the season. Now, just like last year, our first mock draft is just the first round. But we're not just going to do one. I mean, I guess we could do one and talk a lot, but I would like to do is maybe do a couple because we can adjust how the other teams simulate their picks. So I'm hoping that we could do like a couple and kind of see what the boards come up with. And we're only doing the first round, but of course by the time the draft comes, you will have many mock drafts from us. But this is just the first of them, and we are going to focus on the first round. Now, that doesn't mean that if we see a spot where the Ravens could possibly trade up to grab a guy or trade back to accumulate picks, we will certainly account for that in this draft.
Now, really quickly, Glenn, do you want to, in the mock, are we going to do you want to have control of each team's pick, or do you want the simulator to pick all the way to the Ravens? Because that could make a difference, certainly. In my mind, I would prefer we do the simulator because the other one can get a bit lengthy.
Yeah, but, I think that simulator, but I think if we do the simulator, if you look, you can adjust the settings on how they pick. So we could do them in different ways while still simulating both.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah, so I'm excited about this because, man, this draft, when you just look at the first round, dude, it's so weird to see how many teams have multiple first round picks. Like, it's just odd to see a first round that has 4 or 5 teams that have multiple first round picks. It's just not something I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, I'm excited about this pick, and I'm also it's a simulator, so there's opportunities for obviously this to be much different than ultimately how it ends up, but it's still a fun exercise to do nonetheless. So Jimbo, I know, are you setting something up right now? Okay, perfect. I was hoping I
got it set up here. Let me enter the draft. And all I
got to do is 8 teams. Thank you, DK, because this thing over here did not have the correct. So yeah, 8 teams have multiple first round picks this year. I mean, that's absolutely unheard of. I don't know if that's ever happened before. That's got to be, if it's not a record, I'm shocked to hear that it's not. But as you can see, once again, for the second consecutive year, the Jacksonville Jaguars will lead this draft. But except this time, they are not going to be taking another quarterback. They got their quarterback last year in Trevor Lawrence.
Poor Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, you know what? They got Doug Peterson, so maybe they're starting to make some right decisions. But Urban Meyer, yeah, poor Trevor Lawrence for sure with that first year. I mean, what a disaster that guy was.
My goodness.
So how should we start, Jimbo?
I'm just going to, so I got it on medium speed and I got the default settings set up. So they'll draft according to need and value, like can you
pull up, can you hit the settings? I'm just kind of curious what, cause it's only like 4 different ones.
Yeah. They're a little different.
There you go. See where it says use defaults. Just click that box to the right. There you go. Okay. All right. So the random, I like how it's set up right now. If you want to, skew towards the public, that's fine. We can do that. Positional value. I'd like if we bump that up a little bit, the positional value, because I think that does still impact a lot of GMs if they take a guy, we could go halfway. You don't have to go, we can go halfway. Okay, there we go. And then the randomness, that always scares me because if you put that high, if you put that up high, you end up with goofy picks.
I think that's as high as you can. Oh, no. Okay.
No, I think that, that's fine. I think all that's fine.
Just a little bit of pepper on top.
Yeah, exactly. Anything more, you'll start seeing really goofy stuff happening. All right, cool. So let's enter it and let's see. Now put it on relatively slow because I want to give you an opportunity if you feel like there's a guy slipping that we could go after and grab him.
Yeah. All right. So let's
because it's really fast. Even on the slowest setting, it's relatively fast.
Now, and I just want to get to a couple things before we forget because there's a couple comments in here. We are going to do the draft live again, guys. So make sure you attend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's absolutely, it's going to be a blast. Mm-hmm. So make sure you guys attend. I think Nana said that. I'm glad you don't hate me enough at this point, Nana, to not attend. I'm glad that we can disagree and we still love each other because it's all love, Nana.
Look, if you bring this up on draft night, I may be compelled to.
Yeah.
Telling you what, man, you better watch out, dude. I'll look over at my wife. She gives me the look.
All right.
You're
All right.
catching on.
Jeez Louise.
Dude, you know what? Hold on. First, look at the draft needs for the Houston Texans. This says every position. Like, I've
Oh
never
my
seen that before
gosh. That
in a
has
draft
to be a
season.
burn. That has to be a burn. Like, there's no way that
Every
it's not a burn,
position.
right?
Yeah, like, that's hilarious to me. Even the
God.
Falcons, they put, like, what, 5 up? For them, they're just like everyone. That's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Every position. Oh my goodness. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it.
All right, here we go, ladies and gents.
See, look. See, that's why that just bummed me out.
What's that?
Derek Stingley is not going number 1 overall.
And we only had a taste of randomness here.
Yeah, I know. See, that's why, next time we'll put that sucker to the dirt. We'll put it all the way down. But all right, so
Hold on, let's get the 5th pick and then we'll pause it real quick.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, so we got Stingley at 1,
Mhm.
Aiden Hutchinson at 2, Ekwonu at 3. So we got a corner, edge, tackle, another edge in. I always get this guy's last name wrong, so I'm just gonna say George Karlaftis, whatever. Going to the Jets, and then 5 Thibodeau to the Giants. So we
the
got
first
3.
surprise there is where's Walker, right? I mean, that's the guy who you expect to be. He's in. I think he's the second highest odds to go number 1 in the draft behind Aiden Hutchinson. So, Karlaftis, I could see that I don't have an argument with.
Karlaftis, Karlaftis, that's hella high, dude.
It's yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying pass rush will be the top. Some people are saying top 3 picks are all pass rush.
No, I don't disagree. What I'm saying is that I don't think he's the guy. You know what I mean? I don't think I think he's like a 1B at best.
Yeah, I think in my opinion he's the 4th guy behind the Walker and Thibodeau, and then obviously Hutchinson.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about Thibodeau is I think he'd be higher, but there's questions about his motor and if he takes too many plays off. But he was the number 1, I think, overall recruit in his draft.
There was another player once upon a time in the draft coming out of Oregon that people had concerns about his motor.
That's true. Mr. Halote.
That's right. And the Ravens decided to put that BS to bed and take what we consider to be a Hall of Fame caliber player, and certainly, a guy that at least has an argument to be there. So keep your eyes out, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eyes out. All right, we're 5 in. We got 3 edge rushers already taken. So this speaks to kind of what DraftPlex was mentioning. It's about getting the player at the position as far as value goes, right? You don't want to reach at 14 because all the good edge guys are gone. So, all right, let's keep this thing going.
Yeah, it'd be interesting what they do here if they go quarterback. Okay.
Corner, another corner, cross. There he is, gone at 7.
There's
Hamilton all the way to 8.
I could see that. There's Trayvon Walker. Surprised he took so long. Garrett Wilson. Definitely.
Let me pause this thing. Here we go.
Definitely think Garrett Wilson is going to be the first wide receiver. Off the board.
Yep.
It's interesting now. If you look at the shift that the league's going in, second highest paid offensive position in the NFL right now, right behind quarterback, is wide receiver. Which is a little bit surprising because tackle was certainly the one that was up there, and now it's been passed by receiver with all these receivers getting these huge contracts. So yeah, I think Garrett Wilson's the most likely wide receiver 1 to come off the board. Drake London's the other guy that's kind of fighting him for that position. But yeah, Garrett Wilson, excellent player, and I think the Jets, the Jets would be. It's interesting because didn't they just take the speedster last year? Elijah. I'm blanking.
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, isn't that wasn't he a Jet? But still,
but I don't think he was as much of a speedster, right? Like, was he?
Who's that?
But like Moore, I felt like he was he was a speed guy, but also he's a bit like he's got some size to him, and he's a good route. But dude, this guy's route running is ridiculous.
Oh, this guy's a beast, Garrett Wilson. Yeah, he's a beast.
He torched us. He's the reason we lost the freaking Rose Bowl. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson, he's a baller. So yeah, I think that will be an excellent pick for them. And who'd they take early in the draft in this?
Yeah, they took Karlaftis.
Okay,
which was a reach.
Yeah, I think they would likely take probably Trayvon Walker there instead, or even go corner.
An interesting point here is that their quarterback got injured last year. Their number 2 pick overall, Zach Wilson, who's a bum anyway, but they got to protect him. and they still haven't taken a tackle with their first two picks in the first round.
That is a little bit surprising because if you want to see what you got in a guy, a quarterback,
got to protect him.
Got to protect him, no doubt.
But it's
look,
on par
your guy's
for the Jets.
gone, Jimbo. Are you devastated?
I know. I was just about to say that. I'm pretty upset here that the Vikings picked him up at 12. I don't know if I see it because coach is gone. It's a whole new regime there. Yeah. I felt like if that would have been, man, why am I blanking on his name? Coach with the eye patch that said he would lose his eye. Zimmer. If that were Zimmer, I think that this would be a home run pick for him. I think he would love it. Mm-hmm. But it's a whole new regime there, so it'll be really interesting to see if that goes. I don't know if I'm buying into it too much. Maybe I'm just trying to keep hope alive. All right, let's do this thing. You ready? Well, I'll pause it right after the Texans.
This is a big one here. Yeah, because if they take quarterback, that means they're not, well, at least in mock, they're not believing in Davis Mills. Evan Neal, I think that would be an excellent. If they got him at 13, they would be moonwalking that pick in. All right, so a lot of different options. Okay, so let's sort it by need. If you go up, you can sort. Let's agree that what's the top five position?
Defensive line.
Okay.
And cornerback is what it says here are the needs.
Well, I mean, we can certainly.
Yeah, we'll say offensive tackle.
Yep. You can add them all.
Yeah, let's add corner. Let's add edge defender, and let's add defensive line.
Yep.
All right, where did I go? Where did we
DI.
Shoot.
Keep going down.
Oh, my gosh. There we go.
Safety.
Okay,
there you go.
Perfect.
All right, cool. All right, so Trent McDuffie's a guy who I've heard linked to the Ravens because of his ability to play man coverage. He's the overall 8th ranked player according to PFF. Now, he does have some length issues. That was the only issue with him. He doesn't have the prototypical length, but the guy absolutely he was absolutely a baller in his last year.
It says here he's the best zone corner in the class too.
Yeah, see that's interesting because I was just watching a breakdown of him and a lot of it was talking about how he's great at the line of scrimmage. Look at it, accelerates like a Tesla. That's interesting. That's a new thing. But yeah, I mean, I would be surprised to see the Ravens go corner here. What's that?
Nothing.
Okay.
Maybe short, but isn't small.
Okay, there you go. That's Jimmy's motto here. Anyway, let's move on from that. But would you be surprised to see them go Trent McDuffie here?
I was gonna say the same thing. It's hard for me. Maybe this is why I'm not a GM, but I think about the corners that come out of who is it? Sidney Jones. Remember, came out of Washington, tore the Achilles, and really hasn't done anything in the NFL. It's kind of soft. Guys out of Washington, I get concerned with their physicality. Outside of Utah, like, let's be honest, there's not a ton of defense in the Pac-12. Like the way that the Utes, I'm just saying stylistically, like that's how the Utes play football. It's defense and run the ball, right?
Yeah.
It's not that way for a lot of other teams out there. So at the same time, you can say, well, that gives them a lot of opportunities to play. But I do worry about the physicality of guys coming out of Washington and the Pac-12 in general, if it's obviously outside of Utah. But I like this because it would keep Marlon from playing inside. I'm pretty sure this kid would be slotted right on the inside, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess the thing that
true, but that was also years
DK
ago.
With the Trump card.
I mean, we're talking. I think that was still the Pac-10.
That's a good one, though. You got to admit, Jimbo, that's a good one.
That is good. Now, certainly.
One thing that they don't have in common is right now not in love with Trent McDuffie's ball skills. He's not a big turnover guy, and that's one thing we have heard from the big, the upper brass here in Baltimore, that they want to create more turnovers. So I don't know if he's the pick there, but that's where it gets interesting because if you look on here,
can you just look at this? Like, this dude, he's such a massive human.
Yeah. Oh, he's gigantic. So that's the question here right now. If you're going interior, Devontae Wyatt or Jordan Davis. So Jimbo, if this was your choice,
I'm going Wyatt.
Going Wyatt. Interesting.
I'm going Wyatt because I think he's more disruptive. Like, disruption is everything. You've probably heard people say this, like, defensive line is the most fun position in organized sports because all you do is ruin everything in front of you. It's like, it makes me think of like this is going to sound goofy. One of my dream jobs growing up was like excavation. I wanted to have an excavation company because literally all you do is break things. Right? Like, you break them and clean them up, but so like, that's what I think of as a defensive lineman. That's literally your job. And I think that Wyatt is more disruptive as a defensive lineman than Davis. Well, I think Davis is just he's a human swallower, right? Like he probably has a fridge full of toddlers that he just eats for breakfast, right? Like
smashes.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm so torn on these two because I feel like Jordan Davis, I think that his ceiling might be a bit higher than Devontae Wyatt. And I feel like we didn't see a lot of it because their defense was so ridiculously talented, Georgia's was, that they didn't play a lot of snaps. And then they had so many good players up front that he wasn't asked to do certain things that I think if you look at, his performance at the combine and the athletic ability he's shown, I think he's got potential to do things that he just wasn't asked to do at Georgia. So we haven't seen him do it just yet. But when he ran that 40, the way he can move at that size, I think although he hasn't shown it yet in college, I think he could be a pass rush threat and the obvious run threat that he is a bit of a no-brainer. So I think that maybe Devontae Wyatt might be the more day one ready guy to give you pass rush. I think Jordan Davis would be, if I was picking between those two, I would pick Jordan Davis because I think his ceiling's a little bit higher. And we do have some older guys. We did just get Michael Pierce and Calais Campbell. So it's not as needy to have a guy who can, come in and do those things day one. But let me ask you about the tackle position because we see a couple tackles up there.
Yeah.
Now, obviously the main guys are gone. But when you got Bernard Raymond and you got Trevor Penning, who everyone absolutely fell in love with at the Senior Bowl and the Combine, it's hard to not fall in love with some of these tackles because you can watch their tape and you see them and they're mauling people and you get flashbacks of what Lamar had in front of them. Any chance they go here?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm convinced I already know where they would go if this was the decision they had to make. I think they'd go Trevor Penning, and I don't think they would think twice. Bernard Raymond is a converted tight end. He's barely tipping over 300 pounds. What did Eric DeCosta say? He wants big offensive linemen, right?
Yeah.
Trevor
but he's
Penning,
what, 6'6",
6'7", 325.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the Raymond.
Oh, he's 6'6", 303.
Yeah, and he played at Central Michigan. But, he had a great season, but
he's a Chippewa.
He's a little slight, but they like their tackles that can move their feet, too.
No, that's true, but I don't know. I think Eric DeCosta sees that, and it makes you wonder, right? Like, is he going to be able to put up with the physicality going from Central Michigan? Now, Trevor is a Northern Iowa guy, so it's not like he had, he was playing the stiffest competition, but his nature about him is just nasty, and he relishes the physicality and the toughness of the position. And so I like Penning as a fit for the Ravens if they're going tackle here. Not that would be my pick.
Yeah.
But I like it if they're going tackle.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. If it was between those two, but now we got to talk edge, and the big name I see still on the board, is of course Jermaine Johnson. Now David Ajabo is a big name too, but I think that at this point, him going at 14 with the injury is a little bit too high. But Jermaine Johnson, interestingly enough, should have been at Georgia, which is just insane,
mind-boggling
that all those guys could have been there. As many guys as there were, there could have been this guy there too. But Jermaine Johnson absolutely, shot up the boards when you look at what he's done over since the season ended. His performance in the Senior Bowl and his performance in the Combine and stuff. It's just been unbelievable. The guy has everything you'd want from a pro. He's got the length, he's got the speed, he just looks like he's got everything you would want at at the edge position. And I've seen a lot of mocks linking him to the Ravens.
See this here, though?
What's that?
Can you see this? Due to how well Johnson performed at the Senior Bowl, he's unlikely to be a non-factor in the league. Moreover, he's one of the best edge setters in the class with 23 run stops and 14 sacks in 2021.
So look, he's a guy that does both. He's not just a one-trick pony, a pass rusher. He's
right.
And look, the Ravens, if you're playing outside linebacker for the Ravens and you want to be a 3-down player, you better be a monster at both, or you're going to be sitting on the sidelines for a vast majority of the snaps. So
now, what about the fact that he's already 23? In that, I know the Ravens don't shy away from older guys.
Yeah,
but my concern would be, how good are you at 23 years old when you're a grown man lining up against 18, 19, 20, like kids that are eating packed lunches 12 months ago and are playing offensive tackle now, and you've been in the weight room for 5 years as a redshirt senior, right? You like have a wife and kids.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing, at least it comes
Has
to my
he
mind,
peaked?
that makes me want, right. And when the competition is, when the physical maturity is equal to the guy in front of you,
or on the bad end.
Right. Does he maintain his advantages?
Right. Yeah. No, that's the concern. And that's the concern, really, when you look at across multiple sports. The same can be said about NBA players when they're coming out of college and they're a senior. They're frowned upon because not only are you a couple years older, but also you had built-in advantages with maturity than your peers when you were playing against. So yeah, that's the concern. But to his defense, he had an awful lot of good guys playing ahead of him, a lot of first-round picks playing ahead of him. And when he got his fair opportunity, once he transferred, he certainly made the most of that opportunity. So it's kind of tough to hold him accountable for something when it really could have been out of his hands.
Well, let's make the pick, Glenn.
All right, let's do it.
So would you want to come to a consensus, or we can have you make a pick and then we'll do another mock and I'll make a pick.
All right, how about this one? This one can be, you want this one to be yours and I'll take the next one?
You can take this one.
Okay, I'll take this one. Go down a little bit because I want to go with the best player at a position. I don't want to go with a guy who is the fourth tackle or the fourth edge. Who
are you looking for?
No, I'm second guessing myself. I'm second guessing.
Don't do it.
Oh man. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it, Jimbo. I think I'm gonna, and the reason being is that I think that right now we could suit up a defensive interior. We could suit them up with the guys we got, with Metabike, with Broderick Washington, Michael Pierce, and Calais Campbell. I think you're okay there. I mean, obviously an injury rash could certainly wipe my whole theory out. But right now, we can't line up edge players. We just don't have the horses. So I'm going to go Jermaine Johnson.
All right.
I'm going to get Jermaine
now, really
Johnson.
Quickly, DK says, would you entertain a trade? Should we talk about that in this? So there's one trade scenario. Let's see where it would be.
How far back? 31?
29.
Oh, no, not going that far back.
Yeah.
Dang, only one trade scenario. That's surprising.
So we're taking him.
Yeah, I'm taking Jermaine Johnson. I'm taking him. I think they need edge extremely bad. It's at this point, it's unbelievable. I mean, there he is.
Drafting him.
DK says great choice. Yes. Now look, PFF has him lower ranked than some others do. So I might not, get the greatest of grades here, but that's fine. That's fine. I like my guy. And I think if the Ravens had him, he's a guy that can start day one, and he can play all three downs. He can play against the pass, he can play against the run, and he's not limited to being one guy or one trick pony where he can only get on the field in third down scenarios, or in the case of some of these other guys we've taken, only on first and second down. So I'm excited about Jermaine Johnson, even though it's tough for me to imagine them taking the fourth guy. He might not be the fourth guy in their grading system.
Right. Well, let's see what you got there, buddy. B-. Okay. It's not terrible. I mean, we all know that PFF has made plenty of mistakes. Didn't they leave Lamar Jackson out of the top 20 or whatever it was of under 25 under 25 or something like that? Didn't they leave Lamar out?
Yes, he was off the top 25 under 25 list.
Yes, so stupid. But with that being, there's really no other way to put it, right? It was just stupid. And the guy balked at us when we tried to get him on the show. So
he actually said he would come on and then
backed
bailed
out
like a chump
because he saw us talking trash on him. So anyway, I don't mind it either. Like you said, Glenn, day one, Odafe Owe, Jermaine Johnson, that is a young, athletic, high motor duo.
And then Bowser can ease his way back rather than rush his way back.
Right. And you pair that with the size and the veteran leadership you have on the inside. Certainly a formidable group you have here. So not mad at it. Not mad at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's reset it, Jimbo. Let's see what you got.
All right, let's do a new mock here.
Now take the randomness. Take the randomness all the way down.
All right, there we go.
I don't want to see no Stingley at number one. We know that mess ain't happening. Ridiculous. That's why I knew it. Remember I was mentioning before, I knew some dumbness was going to happen with that randomness.
Yep. It's all the way down. You ready for this?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Let's see where the okay.
That's
Aiden Hutchinson makes more
more
sense.
expected.
Kyle Hamilton.
Okay.
Thibodeau.
All right. All right. I can see that.
Stingley.
That one is a little surprising. I think
let's pause it
who
here.
Who knows? I mean, they could go Sauce Gardner. I think in my opinion, I would go Sauce, but honestly, if they're both
You're talking about for the Giants?
No, for the Jets.
Okay.
They went Derek Stingley. I would go Sauce Gardner, but if they were both healthy, if Stingley wasn't coming off the injury, even though it's an injury that, he's obviously expected to return 100%, Stingley's ball skills are so unbelievable. Like it's insanely impressive to watch him, but I would go Sauce because of the injury factor.
Yeah. Stingley is getting greatly benefited by videos of practice with, oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his name? He plays for the Bengals.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I mean, greatly benefited.
Well, you look at his freshman year, he got thrown at constantly. And the guy was just unbelievable as a freshman. So
yeah, no, absolutely. So 5 down, less of
still no shock there. That would be a home run for the Giants to get him.
100%. But now the one thing I will say, the last mock we did, there was 3 edge rushers in the first 5. This one only 2 and only 1 tackle. I think the other one had 2 as well. So something to keep an eye on.
I bet they'll all start going right now.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Let's see if they go with Malik Willis.
Nope. All right, Evan Neal off the board.
Yep.
Charles Cross, you're right, off the board. Did they just take 2 tackles? The Giants? Yep. Hey, I'm not mad at it.
No, I mean they need to protect Danny Dimes if they want.
Gardner.
There it is. Okay, yep. I like that.
Trent McDuffie. Let's
see
pause real quick.
That surprises me a little bit, only because I think that. Oh,
there we go.
One more snuck in there.
I did it to get down to 10.
Okay, got you. So I think Trent McDuffie is a spot that I guess I shouldn't be surprised there. If you like the guy, then that's a fine pick. But interestingly, that no quarterbacks have gone either mock in the top 10. Is that?
Yeah.
Do you find that surprising?
That is, and I think it. I don't know if it'll stay that way. I think Malik Harrison is getting a lot of wind in his sails, or Malik Willis. Willis. He's getting a lot of wind in his sails based on his potential, as the physical abilities that you just can't buy, right? And look, if you can justify getting Zach Wilson at 2 and still have a job, you can certainly do that with Malik Willis, right? Like you're pretty safe. So
I mean, this is a tough year if you want a quarterback. Tough year. Absolutely.
Now, the last thing I'll say about McDuffie is that I don't think there's any way that Seattle sits at that pick. I think they have a ton of holes, and I think they're in total rebuild mode. I would be surprised if they don't trade back.
Now, they did pick up a decent haul when they traded Russell, but I agree
but I don't think they're done. Holes. You know what I mean? I think that they want to keep multiplying. But yeah, you're right. All right, let's do this thing.
See what the Commanders have to say.
The old Washington Commies.
That's right. Oh man! First of all, if they got Trayvon
on
Walker
that line
at 11 with those guys with Chase, I mean, holy!
And who's got Jonathan Allen, right? They also got
Jonathan Allen. Deron Payne, I believe, is there.
Isn't Sweat still there?
Yeah, Montez Sweat's still there. I mean, if they add Walker to that group, you talk about an embarrassment of riches at one position. Wow, that would be terrifying.
And I guess it would be a little rich, but another ideal scenario would be, while Trayvon Walker's obviously great, the Devin Lloyd pairing.
I think Devin Lloyd would be big time right there.
Yeah, with Rivera and the linebackers he's had in the past.
With Kuechly and Thomas Davis.
Absolutely. So, all right, Karlaftis is off the. I got it right that time.
I like that. I like that pick from the Minnesota Vikings. If they got Karlaftis at 12, that would be nice.
I like it because he's not going to us. I don't want him.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Right,
let's see what the every position needy Texans go with. Okay. That would be a nice one. Pair him with Brandon Cooks, who they just extended when the rumor was he was being traded
and
for
the
18th time. Well, apparently they believe in Davis Mills. They think that over the second half of the season that he showed that he could be their quarterback. And apparently they're not just blowing smoke. That's that the feeling is that they want to see what that kid's got, but it could just mean they're positioning for next year's draft when there's a lot better quarterbacks expected to be available. Wow.
Well,
see, now this is interesting. Look how many more trade opportunities you had than I had. I had one damn opportunity to go to 29. You could go every other position in this first round.
So let's see. I'm trying to figure out.
You click the arrow where the Saints are.
Yeah.
And it'll show you all the other.
But what are they offering is what I'm trying to.
No, you have to.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. Well, whatever.
Let's take a look at the players. Oh,
dude, I don't even need to.
What do you mean you don't need to?
Oh, I know where I'm going.
Go to draft a player. Draft a player next to Baltimore Ravens underneath our name.
Oh my gosh. All right.
There we go.
Dude, come on.
Oh, geez.
He's sitting on the board.
Now, hold on. Is this your heart or is this your brain?
No, this is both. I mean, this is the rare opportunity. This is like when I met my wife, okay? It was my heart and my brain intersected. It made the most sense logically and emotionally. Like, I never had any questions. Like, obviously, I was going to marry her, right? Like, duh. And Devin Lloyd is a perfect fit for the Baltimore Ravens. A perfect fit. Look, get Pat Queen. Like, let's get the notion that Pat Queen is going to be our commander-in-chief defensively for the next decade. He does one thing. He blitzes the quarterback quickly. Outside of that, he gets spun around like he looks so lost. You know what he makes me think of? Do you remember the first play and remember the Titans in the state championship game? When they call a shotgun and they spread all of them out and they're looking around and then Blue comes off to the sidelines like, Coach, it's like Monday Night Football out there. Like, he can't keep up. He just can't keep up. He can't.
Well, he can keep up from a fit. Okay, but here's my only question, Jim.
Here is what I'm saying.
They're going to go linebacker in 2 of the last 3 years in the first round.
Yeah, look, that would be what – I mean, come on. If any team did
That'd be crazy.
Wouldn't it be the Baltimore Ravens?
I mean, I guess if I had to pick a team, I'd pick, the Ravens would be certainly up there with their lineage of linebackers. And this is the thing.
If they did something like this.
They just signed Josh Bynes for crying out loud.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I also want to say, if this happens, I'm going to make the pick. The Ravens are going to move all over the place. They could jump back into the first round if there's another guy they really like. They got only 85 fourth-round picks, right? Like,
yeah, but I remember
plenty of ammunition.
I think I'd be a little surprised they get 2 first-rounders. But we mentioned the 5th-year option, how expensive that is to have multiple, many years back to back.
But if the guy is there that they want at the end of that first or whatever, like even at the beginning of the second, I think that there's going to be a lot of moving going on with the Baltimore Ravens. So stay up late, guys. Don't fall asleep and miss. I know half of you guys missed that Lamar pick, and you will not admit it because you die for Lamar Jackson. But I know half you fools missed that pick. I know it. So, all right, I'm going Devin Lloyd here, Glenn.
Devin Lloyd. Okay. I'm not going to. Now, what about those who say Nakobe Dean is the better player?
I'm just going to tell them that they're wrong. Look, it's really this simple. This is why. Like, Nakobe, you want to talk about embarrassment of riches? He had the easiest job in the country last year.
Played around some studs. Yeah, he played with a
couple
studs.
Yeah, just a few. Like,
he didn't have to play that many plays either because they were off the field.
Like, you know how running backs, there's the category of like yards before contact.
Yeah.
Imagine how many yards he was running before he actually came across a guy that was trying to block him.
Yeah, he had it nice. I mean, I tell you what, he's probably in for a rude awakening when he gets to the league because he's probably not going to have the type of horses in front of him that he was.
He's certainly not Roquan. Is the guy that was there before him.
I like this. Michael says Jimmy just got fired after his first year as GM.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Look, I think Jimbo, he's a passionate man and he cannot tear his heart away from his brain. They're interlocked, okay? Just like his brain and heart were when he met his wonderful wife. So Giovanni said you need a long vacation. Look, I
do need a long vacation. Yes.
Would all those who complain about Patrick Queen on a weekly basis be disappointed to see another guy out there who can actually make tackles and make plays at and around the line of scrimmage instead of trying to push him out of bounds 12 yards down the field like we see from Pat Queen all the time.
Right.
I think there'd be a lot of people pretty happy. But
well, and let me say this. I appreciate you defending me here, Glenn. But I also want to say this, is that if you guys knew the type of leaders that Coach Witt grooms, develops, like, I mean, it's different.
Are you on the payroll for Utah?
No, but like, look, Patrick Queen, obviously, hey, look, I got a B, son. I don't see any minus next to my grade. That's all I'm saying. I got a B. I got a solid B. Look, I'm taking it to the bank. All I'm saying is that this kid, beside all the physical ability,
okay, go ahead.
You talked about, Patrick Queen is not going to be the next guy that has the green dot after oh my gosh, Chuck Clark. Like, he's not going to do it. I don't know if he's a leader. I don't know if he's a general. I don't know if, you know what I mean? He can lift up the troops. There's a lot of those things that we know on the defensive side of the ball. Because we're old, we're in flux, and Patrick Queen ain't it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's part of me wants to hold out hope because of, you know, the investment that they made in him, but it's tough to watch him look lost out there. But, you know, I got to call out one of our commenters because Christopher Shook said he was so high. Christopher, you were so high on Malik Harrison, and he was going to be the guy who outshined Patrick Queen. He was going to take over. Now you're telling me Devin Lloyd's the guy. So I don't know what to believe, Mr. Christopher, but, you know, I don't know what to say here. Is Devin Lloyd the guy? Is Malik Harrison the guy? I don't know what to believe here anymore.
All you got to do is listen to me, Glenn.
I guess so. I mean, look, I wouldn't be devastated if they got Lloyd, but that would mean that they're pushing the edge position back at least one round. Yep. That means they're pushing the tackle position back around. I mean, that just means that they're pushing down guys or areas that I can, like, you don't consider linebacker a higher need.
No, to me, it's just about value at that point. Like, the way the board broke down, it was just about value, and that's why I took it. I would have been happy to step off of Devin Lloyd if there was a much more valuable guy there, you know, from an edge or maybe corner, something like that. But it was about value at the end of the day, right? Like, you have to, even though some people might think it's impossible, you have to put emotions aside. He happened to be the second ranked guy in my board with a tackle who I wasn't high on because he was a converted tight end. So to me, it was a no brainer. But I
like Mark's comment. He says, wait till you have two struggling first round linebackers next to each other and you still have to put Bynes in.
Yeah, I really don't. That would be really terrible. But Devin Lloyd, wherever he goes, is going to be a successful football player as long as he can stay healthy. I mean, it's just that simple. He's a different type of player than Patrick Queen. He's much more cerebral, and Patrick Queen is all instincts.
Yeah, and sometimes those instincts are just not working.
Don't get nervous because I'm here now.